What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. I'm one of your hosts, David Gustler. We've got the full crew here for us tonight. So I got my co-host here, Matt Swift. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. Nice to be back with you guys.
It feels good to have the crew back. And then I've got our producer extraordinaire / co-host occasionally, Corey Insco. Corey, how are you, man?
Co-host occasionally is the hell of a title. I'm tired. How are y'all?
I feel it, man. I think we're all tired. I think we're tired of just from watching Charlotte FC play recently and life in general. It's been a weird month so far, and we're halfway through. So, but Swift, I know you got to miss out on the show last week. We just kind of powered through a little quick episode, but we've had some interesting run of form lately, and so I know we kind of break down games, but like. You've had a U.S. Open Cup. You've had, a Saturday game, a Wednesday game. We've got a Saturday game coming up here in 48 hours. So instead of just, rehashing the news, I figure we can just kind of talk through how we're feeling as fans, how we're feeling as a show, because we got a lot of questions here later that was kind of asking us in our thoughts, Swift. But I guess I'll ask you first, man. Like, how are you feeling right now as a Charlotte FC fan, and I guess the recent run of form for the team?
Last night I was pretty upset watching the game, but I think what I want to try to do is try to put things in perspective and look at this in a positive light and kind of tease out some things that could give us some hope and maybe just like, hang on, it's a long season. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of those things tonight. So I'm going to try my best to keep it light and positive tonight as we talk through this.
Yeah, I think it's fair to kind of have both perspectives. I think it's, and I know if you look on social media and in our Discord and other places, there's definitely some fans that are upset. I think that's a valid feeling.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a valid feeling too, because I think even on our Discord on Saturday or Wednesday earlier that I can't remember who it was, but someone said that this month's really going to test fans and like how our patience is, because it's it could either go really, really well or it could go really, really wrong. And I think we're on the path of it not looking so great. For this month.
That was my fear. That's why that New England game was really a letdown.
Yes.
That could have really helped us. And we've dropped all the way down, I think, to like 7th now. But everything's really, really close. But that's just how close everything is. Like we were like 1st or 2nd. Now we're 7th. Yeah, I think I mean, anybody would be frustrated when you lose 4 in a row. I believe it's the first time in our franchise history that we've done so. But again, May is a beast. So many games, and we'll talk about maybe why there's so many games. So it's tough. So I felt the frustration last night. I believe I said in Discord, I'm pissed. I think that was one of my messages. But yeah, now but looking back at it, I do think there are some positives that we could take away and kind of look ahead to what's to come.
Yeah, if you look at our run of form lately, so again, not to just read the news here, but 4 games in league play in a row with a loss, right? So obviously we had U.S. Open Cup in between that, where we played CLTFC, which on paper we won 4-1, so it felt really good, but that game didn't really feel super great going 90 plus minutes until you scored a goal, right? So It's not like we're, blowing teams out of the water leading up to this. The last game that we won in league play, which feels like 7 years ago, was Charlotte FC in San Diego, where we won 3-0, and we were top of the table, everything's hunky dory, and we're gonna win the league, supporters shield conversations, and all this stuff, and then it turned quickly, right? So I guess there's been a lot of, I don't want to say discontent, but been some frustration with fans, and there's been a lot of tinkering with the roster lately, and I think one of the things that we kind of praised Dean Smith on when he first came here to this club was that he created consistency, especially in that back line, and it seems like the past 4, 5, 6 weeks there's been a lot of tinkering, a lot of change in the starting 11. Granted, some of that's been because of injury with different players coming in, like Pep Biel, Nathan Burns, Suleiman was out for a little while. Tim Ream was out for a little bit, so some of this wasn't Dean's fault. He kind of got his, hand twisted to make some of these changes. But what's your thoughts and like with the tinkering? What are we trying to do here? And what do you think Dean Smith's ultimate goal is to kind of figure this out going into this month?
It's well documented that I don't like tinkering, but let me again. This is one of the reasons why I want to put things in perspective here. Nathan Byrne goes out, and I just don't think people really fully understood how important Nathan Byrne is, because Nathan Byrne also was able to, not only defensively was he great, he was the one that was actually making runs up the field, right, dribbling through the midfield, making overlapping runs. So having that also hurts with him being out and everything. You don't really get that. So I think that kind of like put things in motion. And then you have Doumbia gets hurt very early, which is super unlucky for us, right? And then Tim had a little bit of a situation. So there was some just natural rotation there. You do have Open Cup, and again, I've said it 100 times now. I prefer a certain center back pairing, and I don't mind Tim Ream being on the left. I don't like moving stuff around like that. I just wish we would just stick with that, because at least in wins, losses, and draws, we seem to be pretty decent when you have Malanda and Privet in the midfield or in the middle, and then you have Tim Ream on the left. It doesn't make sense. On paper, it really just does not make sense. On paper, Tim Ream should be your center back starter, but for whatever reason at Charlotte FC, Malanda and Privet are to me our best center back pairing. They just have that chemistry. Period. It just worked out that way. So I don't like the tinkering, and I definitely did not like last night. I definitely did not like the tactic that we were running. It did not work. I don't care what analysis you see out there or what a coach may say or a player may say. It did not work. In the first 30 minutes, you had Ruddy moving up the field. And then, we're playing this kind of like three in the back. But what was happening, and I was watching Tim Ream a lot. Tim Ream was having a hard time figuring out what the hell Ruddy was doing. Like, was he going to track back? Was he going to pick up a runner? There was a lot of confusion there. And I don't think Ruddy had a good game last night. I don't think it really worked in the second half either. We just offensively were a little better. We were better on the ball. And plus, they had a 2-goal lead, so they kind of eased off a little bit. But, I just don't like kind of the situation that we're in. But at some point, we'll get Byrne back. At some point, we'll get Doumbia back, and this will kind of correct itself. And it's a long, long season. We've said that a lot. It's a really, really long season, and we're just kind of in the first half of it. So.
Yeah, it's so, and not to rehash last night's game, but I kind of on paper understand what Dean was trying to do. So like if you look at it on paper, like, yeah, it's something that we haven't really ran out before with a 3-4-3. You bring in, Marshall Ruddy, you have Nick Scardina, you've got more of these wingback type players. And you just mentioned it earlier, like we had someone with Nathan Byrne who, would feel comfortable to pinch and slide upwards. And then you would naturally kind of get into this 3-back set previously with Ream, Privet, and Malanda with Nathan Byrne, because Nathan Byrne would kind of float forward, right? So I guess in theory, Dean was kind of like, hey, we've got younger guy and Marshall Ruddy that has played a wingback kind of position before. Leo Labada's played a wingback position before previously in his club and national team career. And so I guess in theory, it's like, hey, like these guys have the potential to be able to do this, and wanted to try it. Now, one thing I did like from it, especially in the first half, like, again, doesn't sound great to be like, I like something that we're down 2-0 in the first half was, but I really enjoyed seeing Wilfred Zaha be able to pinch more inward on this game. And I think having, Marshall Ruddy having this 3-back set kind of overloaded those wings and let Zaha have that freedom to pinch more inward at times and have more space. If you listen to the post-game conference with Zaha, he even mentioned like, hey, like I actually kind of enjoyed playing that way. I was able to be freed up. I was able to create more, be able to see the field better, have chances kind of be created from that way. So I kind of see what offensively we were trying to do, but am I a fan of having a 20-year-old guy that just signed with us 2 weeks ago or got his first start 2 weeks ago, having an entirely new responsibility on our roster, having someone in Leo Labata that's never played wingback for us before, all of a sudden have that responsibility. And I think, like you said, you saw it, especially in the first half, where Melanda would be so far pinched inward, or Ream would be so far pinched inward, where Marshall Ruddy or Abada did not get back quick enough.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, now there's just this huge open side of the corner of the field or the box, which is where one of the goals from Orlando came from. That second goal came from outside the box, within that space. And players couldn't step up because Melanda, Privet, and Ream are sitting back, kind of pinched inward, expecting Abada or Marshall Ruddy to be able to slide back as needed. And it didn't seem like they were able to do that or had the vision to do that or the expectation to do that. So I think that's where the breakdown happened. I didn't mind it so much in the midfield because, I know we didn't have a show when we talked about it, but I know we were texting about it and Discord. People were talking about how much the midfield got worked against Nashville, and having this 3-4-3 was, I guess, to help support that midfield not get overwhelmed or overworked within that space.
Yeah. I like Zaha kind of moving in some to the middle, but that can happen without tinkering and having Ruddy going forward, though. You can have Pep Biel and Zaha kind of moving in and out of space, dragging people back and forth. You could do that without being defensively wide open. And this is what, and I'm trying to work through this in my head. We have always, for quite a while, been a really, really good defensive team. Kalina has been solid. He's made 2 mistakes recently, but if anybody gets a reprieve, it's him. He definitely should have stopped that first goal. I don't know what happened, but anyway. But our defense has always been solid, and we've talked about this. I think there has been a very big misconception that we just didn't have anything going forward during that time. Right? We're all just defense. We can't score goals. When we actually broke down the stats, our goal differential was amazing. We were actually scoring goals. It just didn't seem like it, right? So I don't want to sacrifice getting "quote unquote" more goals and then just conceding. We're giving up a ton of goals now, and I just don't. I just don't want to be tinkering. Dean said he was trying something new, and you could look at it 2 ways. Is this really a time to be trying something new? Because this is May, you're on the road quite a bit. Orlando's really, really tough. You're just really trying to eke out some points here and there. Do you really want to try something new? Flip side of that, it's May. It's a long season. If you are going to try something new, maybe now. So I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate with myself a little bit because I am frustrated. I'm like, why in the hell are you trying something new right now? I don't want to do that. And please, let's not get into this Miguel and Latanzio territory where you have a coach that wants to play a certain way and he wants certain players. And he's like, no, I'm hell bent on playing this well or this way. And you're like, well, we're losing. And you're like, well, that's just how we're going to play. I'm like, we keep losing. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I just wish we would play more straight up. It's boring. I get it. But I just think, especially with the injuries that we have, everything going on, why not just play natural and let your best players make things happen like Zaha. There's ways to move him in the middle without getting all crazy with things. That's just my opinion, though.
And is midweek on short rest the time that you make an adjust? How long did they practice this? That's my question. To give the benefit of the doubt, they could have been working this out in training for a few weeks and finally decided to roll it out on Wednesday. But it just feels weird to be on short rest in a really busy stretch of the season away. Be the time you're like, let's try something different. It just doesn't feel like the right time to roll something like that out.
And David, you were talking about Abada. I don't want Abada playing defense. No. I really don't. We've talked about his physicality. I don't want it. And Ruddy, he's young, he's new. He's not Nathan Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
unless I see something different, because I really was not impressed last night with him. Unless I see something different, let's not do that. Let's just, again, to me, let's play back a little bit and try to hit him on the counter and like just play straight up. I don't know. I don't know if I like the way we're going about this.
And to your point earlier with the attack, forget the goal scoring. Like, the attack hasn't had problems creating chances, right?
We just can't finish.
We can't finish. So it's like we didn't need to change anything defensively to create more attack. Like, the attack was doing fine. Like, the chances are there. We're building to the right places. We're putting people in good positions. We are creating those chances. We can't finish to save our lives half the time. So like, again, nothing was broken in the system other than the fact that like the ball's not going in the net. So yeah, it's another situation of like, I don't know why we're trying to tinker with what's going on back there, because like we're playing, we don't need to try to bolster the attack in any real way. I get the injuries. You got to try to maybe, try some different players and things like that. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, let's just play it the way we've been playing it. Let's do it what works. Let's, people are hurt. Let's sub in where we need to. But like,
yeah,
this thing wasn't broken. So I don't know why we're trying to tinker with it so much right now.
Yeah, I mean, like our goals for and against. I mean, we scored 20 goals.
Yeah.
So I don't think the goals are really the issue. It's we've let in 17.
Right.
So
right.
So it's interesting, and I was just pulling up some stats while you were talking through that. Do you know who our leading shot taker is on the roster? Like, who's taking the most shots?
I want to say is it probably Patrick or Pep Biel?
So it's Lilo Bada. Lilo Bada's got 24 shots.
Oh, God.
That feels right.
Well, and then Patrick Agyemang's got 22. And then Pep Biel's got 19, and Zaha's got 19. Yeah. Now, Zaha has the most shots on target. That's which right. Going back to, it's not surprising, from that point of view. But our expected goals is 19.4 this year. So I mean, it's right in line where we've scored. So it's not. I mean, I don't know. It's not like we're playing against some keepers that are just making godly saves.
Yeah. No. I mean, Pep Biel was 6 inches from the goal and missed.
Yeah, such bad luck. I know. So close.
I mean, I just can't. I mean, last night was just not our night. Like, Kalina making that horrible, like, I don't know what the ball hit him and then it just goes in. It was so bizarre. He doesn't do that. And then I do want to touch on something real quick, kind of with this defense thing. And I know we said we weren't going to go over the game, but we certainly are. That first goal that Kalina bobbled, something interesting happened though that I noticed, and I'm going to talk about the midfield here, and one of my favorite players. Before that goal happens, Privet has to go out wide right to cover for someone and clear the ball. He clears it kind of to the midfield. My man Ashley Westwood just wasn't paying attention and really wasn't reacted well. And Orlando was just able to trap the ball down, dribble forward, and take that shot. Westwood should have either won that ball or at least put him off or something. And that's the thing that I've kind of noticed, that really not winning some aerial balls in the midfield. We're really not winning those 50-50 balls in the midfield. And I want to. I don't know what to say there. I know we're asking a lot of Brandt and Westwood, but that first goal, I mean, the thing is, like, when Privet is also going out wide, he's now out of position. Mm-hmm. And Privet kind of puts it back into the middle. The guy takes the ball right to where Privet should have been, and then takes that shot. So, and then the second goal, did you see the English on the ball? Did you notice this? Like, when the ball comes down in front of Milan, and Milan is about to make a play for it, but the spin on the ball literally goes right to the Nashville player, who had a phenomenal finish on that, by the way. But I'm like, looked like a pull shot. Like, it spun, and it spun right to the not Nashville player. Who did we play last night? Orlando. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
We didn't do great against
Nashville. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, does it matter? I mean, like, Nashville, Orlando, whatever.
Nashville also had just a wonderkin goal too.
Say,
I mean, it's just like it's all blending in together. So
that one I can't get too mad on, except for it was a throw in. Other than that, but like, what
first
can
goal
you
in
do?
Nashville, I can't get mad about. Second goal, I can get mad about. The first goal, cannot get mad about that one.
Are you concerned with like the form that the team's been in during this stretch? Because I one of the things that Zaha was asked during that press conference, and forgive me for not knowing who asked the question. I don't know if it was Carol or somebody, but he basically said like, listen, like we've been playing pretty good. We actually won some games this year where we played worse than we have been during this run of form. And I go back, I know Corey, we talked about the Columbus game where on paper it didn't look super great. We lost 4-2, but like I don't think we played a 4-2 type of a game. Nashville, what do you say to that? You know, that kind of thing. New England had 2 shots the entire second half of the game, and one of those 2 shots just happened to be Carlos Heel, you know, being able to have a goal. You know, so is it the sky falling to the ground? Are you concerned about the form, or is it just some really bad luck that last year we kind of benefited from by having some good luck with Christian Kalina, you know, goalkeeper of the year, making some wonderful saves. Are you guys concerned about that at all?
So I'll jump in first, and then Matt, I want to hear what you think too. Like, I think when we've texted, there's been a lot of matches where I've said, you know, that's a bad result, but I don't think we played bad. So like, there is one side of me that's like, Nashville's a good example of that. Like, I don't think that was a bad match, but we lost. But at the same time, the matches that worry me in this stretch are New England and Nashville. Because those were 2 games that we absolutely should have gotten points out of. Just there's no excuse for it. Like, whether it be a draw or a win against New England or whatever, like those are 2 matches that we absolutely should have gotten points from, and we didn't. And that's what starts to worry me, is that like at a certain point, like there are going to be matches like the Columbus one, even Orlando last night, where we just have a really off night. We're trying something different with injuries, like weird things happen. Fine. Like and it's a tough array stretch. Not happy about it, but it's like, okay, stuff happens. But like, I think the Nashville match and New England, we should have beat New England at home. That was awful.
That one really
and
hurt.
Worst case, we should have gotten a draw.
Yeah.
And then the Nashville match again was just incredibly frustrating to go up a goal. And then again, the first goal to concede, I'm not mad about that. Like, if they're going to do that and score a goal, like, fine. I'll accept it. The second goal was really disappointing, and then not being able to do anything else to get another goal in. And that's why I'm honestly, defense, we're letting in a lot of goals right now, and I get that, and that's part of it. But like, what really concerns me is just the sheer lack of finishing over the past stretch, and even the whole season. It's not like we don't have many goals, but we could have like we should be scoring so many goals a match, like not even like half chances, just like clear open goal, one-on-one versus the keeper, like just very clear scoring opportunities that we're not putting away, and we're just giving away points from that. So like, those are the ones that frustrate me a little more. Again, I knew this was gonna be a tough stretch. I'm not under any kind of illusions that we should be winning all these matches. Like, you know, the Columbus, even Orlando last night, like, okay, fine, whatever. So it's not necessarily the results that bother me. It's the way some of them have happened that are like, if we're going to really try to be a team that's in the top 4, like those are the kind of matches we can't give away.
That's really well said. It's like, not even like scoring them. Can we at least get some of these chances on frame? Because you might get a rebound. That's my thing. It's like, get the damn thing on frame. Like, Pep Biel has a free kick last night and just puts it 20 rows. Just get it on frame. Or like, I don't know, hit it low. Like, you've got to and then he misses that chance. And again, Pep, again, is another person that gets a little bit of grace from me because he's been amazing. But we've had some bad luck. I mean, and I didn't talk about this. So it was the Columbus match that Kalina got hit in the head, right? So I didn't get a chance to be on the show. Kalina gets hit in the head, right? And he's down for a while. And then kind of makes this kind of gaff thing, like pretty close after. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wonder if he should even be on the field right now. Like, that kind of bugged me. Because he up until that point he had just never made mistakes.
Yeah.
At least like all last year, and then but like last night he makes one. I was like, okay, maybe it's not. It was one of those things. Like sometimes you have a lot of luck, and then sometimes you don't. But to your point, Corey, if we can start putting some of these balls in the net, you get a point. I with they end up scoring 3 last night, but that could have easily been 2-2. I feel like that was a draw last night. That's how I feel about it. But we didn't, because we didn't put the ball away. And Abada also had another chance, like he does. I feel like every single damn game, and doesn't put it away. He should have so many more goals this season. So,
yeah.
Well, so my fear, and I agree with what y'all are saying, like, because Corey, looking back, what you were saying of just like the games that worry you a little bit, like how much different would the table look right now if we had gotten those even just 3 points with Nashville or even New England, right? Like I'm looking at the standings right now. You're talking about a
like
difference.
Fifth?
We would be fifth place.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would be tied for 5th with Miami, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back even further in the season, or earlier in the season, where we probably should have gotten a point against Miami, and you could have been tied for 4th, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of what ifs in that situation. What my fear is, and I'm going to transition to our friend Donnie's kind of question or concern here in a minute, but my fear is, and maybe I'm seeing it a little bit with our finishing, is that like players are going to start pressing a little bit, because like it's been a rough stretch a little bit. You have a ton of games on the road. Luckily, we have a game at home this weekend to hopefully right the ship and like get players back into it. But I'll get to the schedule part of this question here in just a second. But are you concerned about players starting to kind of mentally press a little bit? Like they understand that they're better than what we're playing right now. They've all acknowledged like, hey, like we're playing better and we're still losing. We're not finishing, quote unquote, as much as we probably should have. We're getting scored on as, not as likely as we would have last year. What's the mental side of this that you're concerned on from a performance perspective?
For me, I think it was very important that Zaha scored last night. Because he's, we've always said he's the most vocal. He's going to say things that, and sometimes it doesn't have a filter. Or, maybe the next day he'd be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But he's very passionate, right? And says what's on his mind. But I think for him, scoring last night helped him. He would be one that I would worry about. Another one is Pep. I think he probably feels pretty bad for missing that one. Kalina too. I just want to make sure that, because he's not known to make mistakes. He's reigning goalkeeper of the year. So just want to make sure confidence is there. And I think it will really, really help that we're back home.
Yes.
And we do have that midweek Open Cup game, but then we're back home again. So I think this kind of helps a little bit. I just hope the players don't get too down, because again, it ebbs and flows, man. And it's a long season, and we got plenty of time to go on a run. We did it last year, guys, like, because we've documented the Tim Ream thing. We lost like 4 in a row, and then we won like 5 in a row, 6 in a row at the end of the season. It ebbs and flows, man.
It does. To your point, I was going to say, I think this weekend is massive for that mentality and that confidence. Like,
I hate to say
it. Yeah, it's must win. Like, points or standings aside, like I think for like the confidence and the mentality, when we're so rarely at home in this stretch right here, like a home match that is winnable, we need a good performance. We need a good performance. We need 3 points to then propel us. And then, like you said, we got another home match coming up after the Open Cup match. Like, I think these two especially, but I think this first one especially is big. To come home in front of the home fans and have a good performance will do a lot for certain players' confidence and getting us riding the ship a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah, there's a big part of me that wishes we didn't have that Open Cup game.
Yeah.
But DC is not all that great. So, it'd be maybe there could be some confidence if we can win this weekend going into that game. We could play a little loose, and then Columbus is going to be tough, but at least it's at home. And then, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the road.
See him in July.
Yeah, it's
well. Let's transition to that conversation, because Donnie teed me up here a little bit, and anytime I get to kind of poo-poo on some front office stuff, I get to rub my hands a little bit and get excited. I'm just joking. So
you're not joking.
I'm not joking, but
not even a little bit.
So I want to know, and I'll share my thoughts here in just a second, but when you're looking at this stretch of games, so you go back to April 26th, we had our home game against New England. Then we start our road stretch, Saturday, May 3rd against Columbus, on the road in CFC on May 6th, Nashville May 10th, Orlando yesterday. What is that, the 9th or 14th, whatever it was? I don't even know what days we are anymore. Then we have a game at home. Then we go on the road again. Mm-hmm. Then we have a game at home on the 24th. And then once again, you just said it, 5 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row.
Yeah, and so I don't know if there's another Open Cup game in there, and who's going to have that, if we're going to have that. Yeah.
Well, we probably not going to host it at home if we have it, because we've got so much stuff going on, right? So it'll be another sportsplex. Yeah, good old sportsplex. So, woo! So if you think about it, like 5 games on the road, plus if you look at the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 9 out of 12 games have been on the road during the stretch. And it's because we have events at Bank of America Stadium. You've got Shakira, you've got Metallica, you got the Savannah Bananas, you've got FIFA Club World Cup going on. There is a lot of quote unquote events happening. Yeah. And then next thing you know, it's August. You have NFL season picking up, preseason games. You have Sunday NFL games, and the Panthers aren't any good, or they haven't been. So they're not playing Monday nights. So they're playing Sundays at 1 p.m. So you're going to have football field lines on Saturdays at 7:30 because games are at 7:30, and et cetera. Is it a good thing to have this many events at the stadium for Charlotte FC? Not for the city, not for David Tepper, but is it a good thing to have this many things for Charlotte FC? And do fans have a right to be upset about it? But then 2, if you were a player for Charlotte FC, how would you feel about it?
Ooh, all right, let me answer these in order. All right, what? Give me a question. It was a budget. Give me one question. Give me one question.
All right,
so many loaded questions.
Yeah, many loaded questions. Yeah, I want to set myself up to go offensive.
I got you. I'll try to be. I'll try to be brief.
So first question, is is it a good thing to have this many events at the stadium? Not excluding Charlotte City, but just for City, Charlotte, etc. Do you think it's a good thing to have the events?
This is a good question, because the thing is you have to look at it. Are you a Charlottean, or are you a Charlotte FC fan? As a Charlotte FC fan, you're like, hell no. But for the city of Charlotte, yes, these things are amazing for a lot of people. But we really do need to we need a soccer person in the room talking to David Tepper, looking at this and be like, maybe we back away one. Do we have to, do we have to do this much? And there's some weird circumstances, the FIFA Club World Cup, that doesn't happen all the time. So maybe it's a little bit of a perfect storm, but it is something that we do need to look at. Can't do anything this year, but going forward, man, we can't put ourselves in this situation year after year after year and expect fans to be okay with it. And to your point, the players, I'm sure the players get super frustrated because they do have families. They don't want to travel all the time. Some of these guys have newborn babies. They don't want to be on the road this much. It's crazy. So I think something needs to be done. You can make the argument, if we had a soccer-specific stadium, this wouldn't happen. That's not true. Because a lot of teams with soccer-specific stadiums are starting to have these events because of money. So, but answer to your question real quick, we need to really look at it and maybe back away, not have as many.
So I guess, and this is my second, I don't want to say loaded question, but there was a lot of hoopla earlier in the season around shifting MLS seasons, or I guess the time of the year that the season could take place, right?
Yeah.
And while this could help some of these events, quote unquote, because you're not going to have the season butt up against Metallica or Shakira during the summertime, things like that, where there's nothing going on in the city or the stadium, right? But I don't know. It just seems like we keep getting more and more things, which I guess is great for the city of Charlotte to do. Mm-hmm. But from a soccer fan, it continues, at least for me, makes me feel like Charlotte is now the third tenant in the stadium. The first tenant is the Panthers. Second tenant is special events that bring money. And then third tenant is Charlotte FC from a, and I guess if you look at hierarchy revenue, it's probably the reality of it, right?
Yeah.
So it just kind of, I don't know, rub salt in the wound a little bit. It's like, hey, you could have a really great team here, but we're going to put Monster Jam in the stadium because it's, the 50th anniversary here on Saturday, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
now, you bring up a good point, and again, it goes back to who's in the room that's a soccer related person. And we've talked about this, the front office changes. If we're just talking about revenue, if we're just talking about, like if there's no perspective from a soccer fan, then we're just going to keep making the decisions, and you will start rubbing soccer fans the wrong way, and they will stop showing up. And unlike NFL, the stadium will be empty. You won't have away fans making up that revenue. It'll just be empty.
I think you're seeing that already happen a little bit, but I don't want to go make the episode that whole thing, but I think you're seeing that already a little bit.
Yeah, or people are just not coming to games because there is a lot going on. There are, events and things. So it's just something to keep in mind for sure. But no, I'm with you on the frustration thing. But we need some good soccer folks in the room, at least giving their take and be like, hey, just to let you know, maybe we shouldn't do this. But and then also too, I think people, as far as like moving the calendar around, I think people, including Americans themselves, forget how big the United States is. And like seasons, every team up north, they're going to be playing in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have travel and everything. Like it's okay for England to play a certain time of year because England's this big around. Like nothing. Like, so I don't know. It's just different for us in the US. And I think people kind of like forget that sometimes when we're trying to like make these decisions and stuff.
Can I ask a fun question from Russell? Related? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the only thing I was going to be smart and say, hey, well, good news is we got a home stretch of games for the Leagues Cup in July. But never mind. Go ahead, Corey.
We're so salty.
I know. Okay.
Russell asked a question related to this. So I'll just try to change the mood based on his question.
Yeah.
So he listed the big events that are causing this scheduling situation. If you could only attend one, which would it be and why? And so he listed them out. It's Kendrick Lamar, Shakira, Metallica, Savannah Bananas, and the Club World Cup. If you can only attend one, what's your one?
Oh man, Metallica for me. I mean, selfishly, I kind of was still trying to see if I could even figure out a way to go to that. Mm-hmm. The FIFA Club World Cup's kind of cool, I guess, but like it's teams that I'm not really fans of, anyways, and I don't know it. I'm not a Madrid fan, so it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go sit in the heat for that. But what about you, Swift?
If Arsenal was playing, yeah, I think I would. Yeah. But they're not in. I think probably Metallica or Kendrick, either one of those. Shakira, I couldn't tell you how much I could care less about that one. And what is it? The Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
I'd go see the Savannah Bananas. I mean, I wanted to go see
they're
them.
Cool, but does it need to be in Panther Stadium?
Well, they're doing a whole stadium tour thing. That's their thing right now. They did it at Clemson. They did it at Nashville. They're doing all NFL stadiums. So
okay. No, it's really cool. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but I'm just like, okay. See, that could be one for me that you're like, let's make a decision here on one of these.
Yeah,
and I know it could bring in some money, but the Metallica, the Kendrick Lamar, the Shakira, I think would bring in more money. So I don't know, that might be one that I would be like, man, How about
I would
the
say
night
Savannah Bananas sold out like almost immediately 2 nights.
I think Savannah Bananas
I
is
know.
even bigger than Shakira.
Personally, I
Yeah.
don't get it. I'm a baseball fan too. Like I like baseball. The Savannah Bananas hold no appeal to me. Like I don't get it. I don't. So
It's
like
kinda
whatever.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters, but for
That's
baseball.
exactly what I was going
Right,
to
but
say.
they play like small little arenas, like
Yeah.
with like 10,000 people. Like I don't get how we're selling out 2 nights of people.
People
I don't
love
get it. Just
dancing.
blows
People
my
love
mind.
like.
I didn't realize it's.
I'm pretty sure
that.
I could be wrong. I should Google this real quick. I'm pretty sure they
baseball
added a second night.
TikTok. It's baseball
Yes,
TikTok. It's
100%.
exactly what it is. It's
You guys
people,
sound so old right now.
We do.
I'll
okay
be
with
an
it.
old man here. It is people that love TikTok and love TikTok trends and dances and stuff. That is the Savannah Bananas. It's baseball for folks like that.
Yeah, they're doing 2 nights, 6 and 7.
2 nights.
That's what
Wow,
it is.
it's cool for them, but that's crazy. 2
So
nights.
my answer would have been Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I would have probably gone. We'd already bought tickets for the music festival that was happening the same night.
Yeah.
So I got to see Weezer that night, which Weezer was a lot of fun. Love Weezer.
Nice.
Enjoyed that. But like, there's a part of me that was like, if I didn't already have the music festival tickets, I would have gone to Kendrick. That looked like a lot of fun. But yeah. I mean, my short take is having events like this in the city is good for Charlotte. So
It is.
And this is also the first time that it's been this bad of a schedule for us. Like if this was happening every year to this level,
last year was pretty bad though, wasn't it?
We had 5 home matches in May, and then like
it wasn't as bad. There was some congestion, but I think that was more of like Leagues Cup and stuff like that. That was introduced.
We had CONCACAF too, though, didn't we? Or
it wasn't nearly as bad. Because I remember that my biggest issue is that like I couldn't go to a lot of the matches in May, and I was sad about it because we had so many home matches in May.
It was the Beyonce one that I think really riled people up for whatever. I can't remember.
That kept us from having a U.S. Open Cup.
That's
game.
what it was. I think that's really what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, damn you, Beyonce, and the Beehives.
Or it was a Leagues Cup. Remember we had to play? Yeah, I think we had to play in like Dallas or some crap like that or somewhere.
It was the first year of Leagues Cup where we would have hosted like several matches, and we were playing well in like Houston or Dallas or something.
Yeah,
I was going to make a bad joke and be like, "Hey, remember the first time in year 1 when they had like Top Golf inside the stadium, and that's what they." Let's hit golf balls in the stadium. That'd be great. So let's do it. Sorry. So I guess like to summarize all of this though, do you think this is playing into this slump or the mental part of it for the players though?
I think there's a lot of factors at play. I think the injuries, I still go back to the Nathan Byrne injury. I think that has really, this is a big testament to Nathan Byrne. Like, I don't think people really realize just how big of an impact that has made. Because we have a really good defense. So having him out has really hurt. And like I said, he gives you some offensive going forward. So I think the injuries and look, we signed Doumbia and then he just immediately gets hurt.
Yep.
So, and then you have to go get Ruddy. And because of that, you have to offload Ben Bender, which Ben Bender hadn't really been factoring in, but we had to make a kind of another move because the guy that we signed, got hurt. And then the schedule congestion, playing all these away games, and then us just not finishing chances. I mean, it's really just a culmination of things.
This also feels a lot like the first season where we cannot get a draw to save our lives.
Yeah,
like remember that?
We've got
win
one.
Or lose, that's it.
How many do we have? We just got the one, right?
We have one draw.
Yeah.
And that was very season 1 for us. It was like we were going to win or lose.
It's
like
true.
there were no draws in that season, which is tough. Like when you talk about points and how it adds up over a season, like that's why I think those matches over the year that could have been wins or minimum should have been draws are the ones that like kind of haunt me a little bit. And like you already talked about, with like Miami, New England, and Nashville, those are points. Yeah, those should be points.
4
and
points
it makes a
separate
difference when you start looking at that, and especially when you're looking at how tight the East is.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is a little worrying. We are starting to lose touch with the front 3 teams, but Cincinnati and Philadelphia is just playing incredible right now, and then Columbus, of course. So we're starting to lose a little bit of touch there, and that's why I think this weekend is absolutely crucial. One, it's going to keep Chicago behind us because they're only 3 points back. That's the thing. Like it's starting to get very tight, and the East is just super competitive this year too. So that's another thing. Like the West, I mean, I don't think is all that great to be perfectly blunt this year. The East is where it's at, and it's stacked.
At least we're not the Galaxy. No, I'm just
yeah, I mean, yeah.
But all right, so you're just bringing up roster moves, and I know we're going to get the Q&A here in just a second, but like I wanted to bring this up because I know I text y'all about this. But the only concern I have right now too is we have these injuries piled up a little bit, right? We made some moves, got some players on loan, etc. Like Suleiman's on loan, Reddy's on loan, Pepiel's on loan, Zaha's on loan, etc. Right? The MLS, I guess, sent out roster designations about a week or two ago, kind of showing what style of roster you have, but also your GAM that teams have right now. And Charlotte is like one of 2 or 3 teams in the league that has $0 available in general allocation money. And so what my concern is right here is with this window coming up, like how much is that going to make a difference for us going to get some more depth pieces, or if there's more injuries that happen. Also, you've got Pepiel's loan that ends, doesn't seem like it's that far away, but basically 2.5 months. And then you've got Suleiman who's on loan, and you've got Ruddy who's on loan, and you kind of gave up the last year GAM to get Ruddy. So should fans be concerned about that at all from a roster construction perspective? And do you think that's going to affect this window coming up?
I'll reverse that. Look at all the players that we're going to have coming back.
Oh, look at you being positive. There you go.
So, I mean, think about it. Like we'll have Doumbia coming back. At some point, we will get Nathan Byrne back. Forbes, Brandon Cambridge. Mm-hmm. You know, we got Tavares, we got Smalls. We've got and all the players in the midfield that we've got, the 800 players that we have in the midfield. So the question is, you know, defensively. And again, this is why I don't want to play a back 3, because your subs, to me, you have Bill, and you have Malanda, and you have Privet and Tim Ream as your center backs. But if you're playing one of your center backs starting somewhere else, then your subs go down. And if someone gets hurt, it's whatever. And I said this in our Discord. I think this is not going to be a popular opinion. I think in Open Cup, Tim Ream and Bill Tuoloma should have been our starting center backs, which is the stupidest thing to say because you have a U.S. men's national team captain. I'm like, well, I'm going to start from the Open Cup now. Because I still think Milan and Privet are our best 2 center backs. And it's on paper. It seems, I mean, like, it doesn't seem like that would be what it is, but when you look at the records and stuff, I don't know what to say.
So do you think he wanted to try that? And this is just me talking out loud now, but do you think he wanted to try that because there is a lack of trust in the depth in our midfield? Because there's been a lot of talk lately of the impact that the sub pieces from our midfield coming in, Diani, Williamson, et cetera, coming in to sub a Brandt, you know, Pep, et cetera, has not been as impactful as, like, I guess it could be on paper. So now you're trying to try something different because you want a Ruddy or a Scardinha or, you know, whoever to be that kind of hybrid midfield wingback, because we don't want to pull out the midfield and keep those players on.
Yeah, I don't know. Did we find out, was Pep like tired or hurt last night? Because
I don't know. Well,
he gets pulled.
The week before he only played 65 minutes, or the game before, and Dean was asked about it and was just like, yeah, like you have to kind of sometimes control these players coming back from injury. He was upset. He was kept being taken out, but I like a player, quote unquote, to be upset when they get taken out. Like,
I was also upset.
But, like, well, Swift was also upset.
And like last night, he comes out. I'm like, oh, you need some goals. Naturally, you take him off and put in Williamson, who I haven't been impressed with at all, and I'm not impressed with Gianni. So, my thing is we've used some resource. You go back to GAM and other TAM, GAM, and DPs and whatever else. Those 2 players, for me, I'm looking at them like, ooh, we may have missed on both of them. I don't care what anybody says. Other than the Open Cup when Diani played like 800 minutes, I'll give him that. I think that was a good shift. I am just not impressed with him. I'm just not. I'm just really, really not. Other than I was really impressed with how he did that game playing that long. Other than that, I'm like, dude, like I'm not for it. And Williamson, I'm just like, I'm kind of shocked how unimpactful he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing. I hate that because I hear he's like a super awesome guy and like I want him to do well, but like I am just not impressed right now.
Gianni, I think, has a very specific role that I'm okay with. Like, but what I think I get frustrated with him is when we put him in and we're down a goal and chasing a goal.
Yeah,
it's like no, like why are we bringing him on? Like that's not going to get us anywhere closer. Like the Open Cup match, when he just kind of played the whole thing. Like he's a very confident on the ball. Like he kind of does his thing, but he's not going to lend us any attack. So that's when I get frustrated is when we're chasing the game. We need to get a little boost in the attack, and Gianni and Williamson come on. It's like, well, there goes that. Hope Tokomati can run real fast and get behind something.
I mean,
that's where we're at this point.
Yeah, I feel like both of them have like concrete boots on too. Their touches, like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah,
something's off.
So I'm gonna pull a Corey here and be a producer for 2 seconds. So Corey, hopefully I don't screw this up for those who are listening here. But I wanted to pull up the roster designations here just to kind of show this. But look who our TAM players are. Pepiel makes sense, right? Nathan Byrne makes sense, but he's hurt. Christian Kleina makes sense. Milanda makes sense. Tim Ream, Ashley Westwood. But you've also got, and I think this might be a little outdated because Williamson's up there as well. Like from a pay perspective, like he's not quote unquote a TAM, but he's taking up a big salary chunk from it as well. So, Tim Ream's been hot and cold. Nathan Byrne's been out hurt from this perspective, but what do you do with this right here? The U22 designation with a player like Petrovic, who should be making more minutes and impact, but he's just not getting the minutes here as a U22 designated player.
To me, I mean, I've seen enough of Williamson. I'll be perfectly blunt. Why not Pekovic? I mean, he played well when he came in, and if he's kind of like maybe the heir apparent when Westwood steps down, or if he's going to play more of like what Bronico's playing, like sub him in instead of Williamson. I've seen enough. I'm sorry. And Gianni, like I've seen what I need to see. I'm just not impressed with either one of them. Again, I want to be wrong. I hope they both start playing amazingly. Maybe Williamson needs a little more time to be with the team, but just like, why wouldn't you play somebody with this designation that you want to get minutes? Go ahead and do it. What's it going to hurt? Because what I've seen has not helped. Yeah. So put him in there.
Yeah, I truly don't understand why he's not seeing more minutes. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, last time we were a little critical on some players. We were a little critical on Lila Bada, and he scored like a goal in 3 games in a row.
Right, so let's pick a player that we can like really bash on.
Can we keep bashing on Abada? Is it bad to keep bashing on Abada? Because he finally did score. Somebody also could have had like 7 in the past few matches if he could hit the frame a couple more times. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna stay on him.
I was talking to someone. I will not mention their name, but they were like, "Yeah, man, like give Abada a hard time. Like he did this and that and that." I'm like, "Yeah, he scored, but he also had a wide open shot at net and then hit someone and he had what's his name in the head."
Our former draft pick.
Yeah.
Straight in the face.
Diop in the head. Like you had a whole entire goal and he can't use his hands and you hit him in the head. I mean, come on, dude. Like I don't want to hear. Like I was so mad at him. Like why are you giving Abada a hard time? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. He hit a dude in the head that can't use his hands.
I am glad he's playing better, but goodness, man.
Yeah. Let's keep bagging on him so he'll score some goals.
Yes.
And the thing is, I want him to do well. Like I
do too.
want him and need him to play really well. I really want him to like break out and like get some confidence and like start scoring some goals, man. But Jesus Christ, dude. Like, what is with us in finishing? We just cannot do it.
Mm-mm. Nope. All right, let's read a few. We're not going to have time to go through all these from both matches, but we got some questions from the Discord that we'll jump into. Thanks, everybody, for asking. I apologize. I won't be able to read all of them because we said we're going to do – this is classic us. We're going to do a short, quick show. We are looking at the counter. I don't know what it'll be on the actual minutes, edit, but we're 54 and a half minutes in. Gordon asked, should Dean try Zaha in another position? like a false 9. This gets to a little bit, I think, what David was saying earlier. Like you like seeing Zaha get pinched in. And I feel like even in our group chat, you said something similar. Or like, why don't we just put Zaha centrally sometimes? So what do you think about that? Like actually changing his position a little bit.
You go ahead, Swift.
I mean, we started Toklamati. Why not Zaha?
Zaha, dude.
I mean, if you're gonna tinker and play, mess around.
I wouldn't say like I wouldn't take Pat or Toklamati out and put Zaha there in that place, but I would also give Zaha maybe the freedom to roam. Like if you're hell bent on taking Pep Biel out at the 65th minute, 70th minute, then slide Zaha in Pep's space and then put a winger out there. In that
you couldn't do it with Pat, but you could do it with Toklamati because Toklamati can play out wide.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want Pat playing winger, but
I mean, wasn't Pat playing like a cam in the Open Cup or something like that at one point? Like,
yeah. So I mean, no. Look, I was kind of kidding, but kind of not. Like if you're going to tinker with some lineups and you want to get Zaha inside, you could put him up front, in the middle, and then because you do have options on the wing. You've got Vargas, you got Tavares, you have Smalls. You could do. You could run Pep and Abada. Like you have options. So I don't know.
I mean, he is right there in terms of shot creations and shots. Like he's top 3 on the team, and he's doing that from a winger position. Like, what if you put him centrally in the box and on top of the box? Like, what's going to hurt from that? So
yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I just didn't like I did not like last night and this whole tinkering with this. I just didn't like it. So.
I'll go over to Nietzsche. She was being very positive, which I appreciate. So I'll read this. This isn't really a question, I guess. It's more of if anything, it's a rhetorical question. But yes, we have some things to work on. Cough, cough, finishing, cough, cough. I guess I could have really tried to cough, but sorry. I'm just going to read the words. But can we really be complaining? We have a team. We have great players. We have the best fans and a great coach. We clearly see progress from past seasons. Would you agree that at some point we need to just trust the process and believe?
Yeah, that's fair. I think Dean's earned that. So I think the Dean and the team has earned that after last year's performance. So I think it just sucks to lose the way that we've lost. So, but I'm not giving up on the team. It's not like I'm sitting here and, but it just sucks the recent run of form, unfortunately.
Yeah, when you lose 4 in a row, that's tough to swallow. And then you got to be really careful when you lose 4 games in a row and you're in that conference room and you start saying words start coming out of your mouth about the team and how they're doing and how you could be winning and like how smart you are about lineups and like you get as a coach, not just Dean, you got to be really careful about what you say. Because I remember when Latanzio would get in those that conference room, my blood would boil with some of the shit he was saying, like as we were losing.
I remember.
So you gotta be a little careful about what you say. But yeah, I Dean has earned the benefit of the doubt. A lot of these players have earned the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to try to trust as much as I can. I just don't like certain things and try it. And if it doesn't work, move on. But like again, don't keep doing it if it's not going to work. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm going to need Dean in the next press conference just to go up for Matt Swift and say, "Hey, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit," and then just.
Dude, if he said that to me, I'm like, man, that's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, the thing is, I love Dean Smith, and like I haven't really had too much of an issue with what he said.
Yeah.
So I do want to trust him, and maybe the 3-4-3 will work. Maybe this is something that will be great, but that's why he's a coach, and I do a podcast.
I think the only thing I would say, because I mostly do agree, I'm not at a sky is falling standpoint, but we talked about this earlier. Like the expectations for this team are different this year.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I think it's okay to hold them to those higher expectations because we have a good coach, because we have talent, because we've shown how good this team can be. I think it's okay to say like, yeah, I'm not saying we should win all the 4 of those matches, but we shouldn't have lost all 4.
Yeah,
and I think it's okay to be reasonable in the way we are, having those high expectations. Again, there's going to be people who are, going going to be mad regardless and take things to a level that they don't need to be at. And I'm not talking about those people.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to be like, this isn't good enough for how good this team is.
Right. Yeah. First time in history we've lost in our all of the coaches in our history. This is the first time we've lost 4 in a row. That's not acceptable. So I mean, you gotta be, no matter the schedule, no matter who you're playing, like you got to get a point. You know, like you got to do something. Yeah. But to lose 4 in a row, that's not great.
No. Another one from Russell. Whose regression has you more concerned, Reams or Kalina's?
Has Reem regressed?
Is he just doing the same old thing?
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like,
no, I know.
Jay's back here saying yes.
No. I think Tim has played perfectly fine. I think he's fine on the left. A lot of people don't like that and think it's dumb, and I could see maybe why on paper it is kind of ridiculous. But the 2 now Kalina gaffes is starting. I'm like, oh no, because he did that before, and I just hope it's not a thing. But I mean, I have all the confidence in the world, so maybe I'm not. If I had to pick one, it'd be Kalina, but I'm not really concerned about either one of them.
Yeah, I'd say Kalina too, but similar. Like I'm not hugely concerned about either, but Kalina making weird mistakes is just it's strange. We haven't seen that from him.
Just don't go back to year 1 Kalina where he gets chipped from halfway and he's outside the box just chilling. So I'm just playing. So be good.
All right. Jeremy asked a few good questions. I'm going to pick one. I like this one because it relates to something we talked about previously. Our chemistry on the field really seems to have taken a hit recently. What do you think will be the biggest catalyst to getting it back?
I think the team needs to go to a team building exercise, like an escape room, or actually, let's do that. I'm gonna double down on that. I'm gonna need the team to go down and make an escape room, and I'm gonna need like there's one I did down in like South Boulevard area a very long time ago, and it's like a jungle theme, and Kalina's gonna have to crawl through this like rope thing, and Dean's gonna need to get the key out of the skull and everything like that. That's what needs to happen to get the chemistry back. That's it.
I like it.
So stupid. Sorry.
Some trust falls afterward.
Oh yeah. Oh, they can go do their ropes course at the Whitewater Center.
There you go.
That's a good team building exercise. That would be really good. Yeah. See, corporate America me is coming out real hard right now. I know all about all these team building exercises.
There's a thing where you can go and you can like together you can paint a canvas to create a unique piece of art. We did this as a team building thing with my company. Like it's over in Noda. They put a big canvas on the wall and you get paint to mix and you throw the paint at the canvas all together and you can then frame it in the office to remind you of the time that you worked together to create something beautiful.
Where you threw paint at the canvas. It's good.
Dude, what the shit? I was going to say that
me and David are tired.
What the hell's happening? I was going to say that our coach needs to just play a normal lineup and that we need a 2-0 win at home and get a clean sheet, a convincing 2-0 win. I think that would just go a long way. But what you guys are saying is also good.
Oh man, shit. That's good.
It's like our version of the Believe sign. Like you we do the splatter paint thing and put it above the locker room.
And you tap
walk out and tap it. And that leads to the 2-0 win. It's all part of the process.
If anybody from the team is listening, if we can make that happen, that would be.
Hey, if you could film listening, I will go lead all these team building exercises for them. It would be great. I will videotape all of it. It'd be great.
It would be good content for the marketing team. That'd be good. It'd be good shit. Yeah,
it's good stuff, man.
Okay.
All right. We'll end with a fun question.
That was that not?
I made it a fun question. Sorry,
we made it. That was actually a very serious question that we made a fun question. Sire of Hill, which is just a fun word to say.
What? Is that a person's name?
on our Discord.
Yeah, on our Discord. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they have kind of like funky, weird, cool names.
It's
Okay,
a
gotcha.
username.
All right, gotcha.
Going usernames only today.
Yep.
A fan MLB site recently posted a list of the most used walkout songs for batters. If you could pick one song that would play every time you arrive at work, enter a meeting, emerge from the bathroom, which is I think really the funniest one, is emerge from the bathroom, enter the bedroom, take your last bite of each meal, etc., for an entire year, what song would it be, and why?
Oh my gosh!
And to be clear, he clarified here. It's one song for all the situations. Like you're not picking different songs for different situations. Like one song that is like the song that represents all those situations for you.
This one's hard. There's so many options here.
I know. I'm like,
I'll jump in because I feel like, and this is from college days. I feel like if I had a walkout song, this would always be it in college. Was September by Earth, Wind and Fire. I just love that song. Good. It's got a really good, you can like walk out to it, and do a little jam.
That has to be one of the bottom songs I would thought was going to come out of your mouth. I'm so shocked because I love that song. It's a great song, but I cannot believe
it's one of my favorite songs.
Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
Careful, we don't need to get copyrighted.
Oh yeah. Don't
Watch
want
out.
that. I was not prepared. Yeah, I was not prepared for you to say that, Corey.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like my theme music in college.
Wow.
So I'm gonna just troll the people who know this. I'm gonna say Brain Stew is mine, just to really.
Great answer.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Good night. No.
I would say Bulls on Parade.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
But another fun one, and if you ever want to play this game, it's pretty deadly. Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played the drinking game?
No.
Yeah.
I
haven't played it. I've heard of. I know the game. I haven't played it, I should say, but I know exactly
played
what you're
it.
talking
And
about.
there's at least one or two people that get caught, and they just have to finish like 5 beers in a row. Like you start with a beer, and you get in a big circle of people, and you say, when it says thunder, you drink, and you drink until it says thunder again, and then the next person drinks. There's 2 parts in that whole song where there's a big gap between when they says thunder, and you can get really screwed. But it definitely would get you going at a party.
Interesting. I did not know that was a game.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I really like thinking about Bulls on Parade as the one when you're walking out of the bathroom. Like that just feels really right. Like just kicking out the bathroom stall door.
It's a good song, man. I love Rage Against.
It's a great choice. I like
it's
that.
It's a good
one.
choice. Yeah, it's good.
All right, those are all our fan questions, or the ones that we had time to go through because we talked too long beforehand.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like a 30-minute episode, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Thank you everyone for chiming in with some questions. As always,
come join our Discord, by the way, and our Patreon. Come, this is where we chat during the game and talk during the day about whatever. Corn dogs.
We also do soccer and coffee there. On the weekends.
The soccer. If you're not sure, we moved off of Twitter or X or whatever. We're on Discord. That's where we do the soccer and coffee. David and I, and sometimes Corey, are on video talking about the game ahead that day. But you can also join. You don't have to be on video, but you can at least watch us and ask questions and everything like that. It's actually a lot better than when it was on Twitter. You can interact more, so it's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
So come join us.
We've had some good guests on there. Vaughn's been killing it the past few weeks, sharing some good insights. So
sorry couldn't make it last Saturday.
We put Vaughn behind a paywall. Is what happened. We stopped bringing him on the podcast.
Shh! Don't break our secret.
It's $3. It's $3 a month, which is not a lot, right? Is it just $3 a month?
Yeah,
just $3.
Yeah, and that just helps us, do the show and
Yep.
Have some fun.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for listening to David and I slowly lose our minds and Matt try to keep it on the rails.
I want to hear more about these team building exercises.
I've got like 5 more in the back pocket ready to talk about.
Boy.
Well, Charlotte FC, if you're listening, we have some cool ideas.
Mm-hmm. We got you. Yeah. We'll see everybody on Saturday back at home, hopefully to see a much needed Charlotte FC win and have something more positive to talk about next week when we come back. So until then, I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll have more team building exercises next week. See you guys.